As we all know that the paper is offline this time, so it becomes very important to have an idea about the OMR sheet, because we have completely been practicing on the computer based exam. So when you are going to have the OMR sheet of your PMT era, you are definitely going to ruin it because of not knowing or because of forgetting some basic things. So here I am with the 3 doubts being covered in this video is that I am going to tell you how to fill the OMR sheet. The next thing is that one mistake and computer can reject your OMR sheet. So avoid do those mistakes. And the third one is when to start marking your answer on the OMR sheet. Like you are attempting the paper, so when you should start marking those answers on the OMR sheet. It also going to play a game changer this time in this exam, because you have only 120 minutes for the 120 questions. In that you have to fill the OMR sheet also, so it becomes a tricky this time how you manage that. So I am going to tell you each and everything, so stay tuned. First thing is that how to fill the OMR sheet. Now you are going to have the OMR sheet been looking like this. So the first thing you are going to have here is the roll number. In the roll number, what you have to do is, suppose you have the roll number this. So you have to start filling the roll number from the end. You don't have to start from the 0. Suppose you have 4 in the end, so you have to write the 4 here, then 8 here, and you have to follow order like this in this manner, and you have to mark that column in this options also. If you have 4, so you have 4 here, so you have to mark the 4 here. So by this you have to fill your roll number here. Next you are going to have your candidate or student option. You have to fill that here. Suppose my name is Deeksha Agarwal, so how I have to fill here is I have to write Deeksha, and then after writing Deeksha I have to leave a column blank. After that I have to start writing Agarwal. I cannot write in a single go. If I have a gap in my name, so I have to leave one column here also. So again what I am going to do here is I am going to fill D then E, and the column I have left blank here, I am not going to mark or fill anything here. I am not going to write anything here, and I am not going to fill anything here. It would be left completely blank. Then again I would start marking AG and everything and all. Next thing is mobile number. You have to fill the mobile number here and mark accordingly. Now center code, they can provide you with anything. Either they can provide you with the center code, or they can provide you with the series code, or with the booklet code. So it would be written in the instructions, so read the instructions properly, and whatever they say, suppose they say this, so it's again start with the here, then write here. So always follow this order instead of this. Then whatever options are giving, you are going to fill these like that only, because these only carry the most important. This is going to be the game changer. Why? Because any mistake here and you are out of the exam. Maybe you could top the exam, but doing a single mistake here, you can be out of the exam. So please, it's a request from my side, fill these credentials properly, and because these are checked by the computer. If any error found, suppose you have D here but you have not marked D here, you have marked E, then your name is not going to match, you are not out of the game. So please make sure that you fill these credentials properly. For that you have to reach the center early. Now you have the answers here. You have to fill the answers. Suppose first is D, so you are going to mark D. Like this you have to mark. In this also make sure you do not mark it like by putting at this, or by simply this, or simple like this. These all methods of marking the answers are wrong. You have to completely fill the column and make sure your that marking doesn't touch the other column option. Now next thing is how to save your OMR sheet from rejection. Do not skip it, because it is very important, because your whole, no matter how much hard work you put on the whole year, if you did any mistake in the OMR sheet, then you are out of the game. So let's see. First thing is read the instructions properly. You are going to have the question paper like this and the booklet front cover is going to be like this and instructions are these. So you have to read all the instructions properly. Next is black ball pen. You have to mark your answers only with a black ball pen. So do not forget to carry with you all. Next is do not write anything else on the OMR sheet. You have this OMR sheet with you. So if you are asked the roll number and everything which I have discussed, you just have to mark this only. Do not write anything here in the space provided. If you did anything here, then it will reject your OMR sheet. Next is do not fold the sheet. What happens is we are keep solving our questions, and during that we do not think about the OMR sheet which is been provided in the starting of the exam, but we put it here and there or make it dirty by making it fall on the floor or by making it turn along with the paper. So if any fold happens, again it is going to be rejected by the computer. Next is do not use whitener. What happens is many people carry whitener with them thinking that if they mark any option wrong, so they would put on whitener there and mark the other option. Again your OMR sheet is going to be rejected. Next is do not fill the two choices. Suppose you have the answer marked B in the first option and you mark C also, that question is going to be counted as wrong. It is going to provide you negative marking. So do not mark two answers in a single question. Only one option would be correct for each and every question. So do not fill two choices in a single question. Now the next is when to start marking your answers on the OMR sheet. There are three strategies. Number one is what 30% students do. With every question they mark the answer simultaneously. But what happens in that is when you try to mark simultaneously, then it is going to consume a lot of time. First you are going to have a paper in front of you. You read the question and think of the answer. Then you put on the OMR sheet and search 1C, then C. Then again you search on the, again bring your mind focusing on the again the question paper, read the two questions, then bring the OMR sheet and mark. It is going to consume your extra time, and this strategy should not be followed by you. Next is after finishing whole paper, mark your answer. What happens is many people, 30% people thinks that they will read the whole question paper and they would solve whole the question paper. Then in the end, they would mark your answers. This would create anxiety and nothing else. And what if you are left only with the 10 minutes and you have to mark all your 120 questions? So I would suggest you all not to go by this method also. So which method you should go? So I am going to tell you this special method is with every page completion you should mark your answer. What I mean by that? Suppose you have your question paper in this format, and in this you have approximately 10 questions on a single sheet. So what you are going to do is you are going to attempt these 10 questions. And while reading this question, you are not supposed to write anything here on the question paper also. But when you read the question and if you think if the answer of first question is B, you can just put a single dot on the B. You can just put like this, so it will not hamper you. So you can put it like 10 dots here. Then you can take your OMR sheet and fill all the 10 options 1 to 10. Then again switch on to the next page and solve all, then 10. In that method if you go, then there's a high probability you will not going to mark the answers wrong in the OMR sheet, and you are not going to face the anxiety in the end that oh my god, I have finished the paper but I have not filled the OMR sheet. And what happens is when we fill the OMR sheet, when we are in a hurry of completely marking, we can suppose we have done 1 to 5 question and we have left the 6th question, but what we do is in a hurry we forget that we have left the 6th question and we fill the 7th option in the 6th option in the OMR sheet. Like we forget that we have skipped the questions in the between, but we go in the order of flow and filling all the options, and in the last we see that we are left in the OMR sheet with the 10 questions in the end, but we have marked the skip question in the OMR sheet which are supposed to be left. So when you go by this method, you are completely awake and aware, okay, I have marked the 5 options in the OMR sheet, I have to left the 6th, and again I have to fill the 7th and 8th and 9th. So by this this method is the gold standard method. If you follow this, then it is definitely going to benefit you. But if you are not going to have the paper in this format, then you can have the paper in this format. Only 4 to 5 questions are given on the single page. Then you are going to solve the one page and the second page here, and you are going to attempt the 10 questions and then going to fill the OMR sheet. So moral of the story in the end is, I have tell you that if you have the paper in this format, then you have to attempt the 10 questions in a go and fill in the OMR sheet. But if you are going to have the exam in this format, then you are going to attempt the 10 questions total of one sheet and the second sheet, and then you are going to mark the OMR sheet. In total you have to solve 10 questions, then mark, then again solve 10 questions, then mark. So this strategy you are going to attempt. So in the end you are going to have your answer sheet like this. So if you have solved the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 questions, so make sure I have skipped the third question, so I am not going to fill anything in the third option. I am going to leave it. Answer sheet can look like this, but some variations can be here in these columns. So check the instructions and see what columns have been provided to you, and do not write anything here or here. Do not try to tone this paper, or do not try to make it dirty, and do not try to attempt the questions from the last. Why I am saying this is, when you try to attempt the question from the last, suppose you have attempted the last 10 questions, and when you are going to fill the OMR sheet in this format like this, this and this, so what happens is you get a pen impression or the ink impression here on this, and when you move forward on the screen, so what happens, the these impressions of the pen imprint on your OMR sheet, and it can ruin your OMR sheet. That is the most important and the basic thing. So please start attempting the question from the starting. Do not try to fill the options from below to upward direction. Always fill your OMR sheet from upward to the downward direction. So I hope you got your message from my side. So all the best. Keep preparing. Exam is near the corner. I hope you all will perform well. So all the best.